All right, shalom to the hopeful elect. First of all, I give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who teach us the truth and rule well. And peace, love, and salutation and blessing unto the hopeful elect. Those who are sincerely hastening the day that the Heavenly Father Yahweh is going to send his son Yahweh Shai to deliver the elect of Israel while destroying our enemies. And the true Israelites are you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as those who are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Many of our people will look like every nation that's under the sun. It's not about your skin color. But if you've been given the gift of this truth and this faith through the names of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, then your bloodline and lineage, it goes back to the 12 tribes of Israel through your father's side. Now, I'm the brother Ramak Imyan from Great Millstone, Miami, and the Spirit is upon me to prophesy of the great deliverances that's about to happen in these last days. And by great, I mean great and mighty, but also strange. The Lord is going to do great and mighty things for us, but in the way that these people are going to know that it's divine intervention. They're going to know it. The faith of the elect is going to be built up on an all-time level, seeing these things, taking part in these things, these miracles. And even our enemies are going to see it. It tells us in the scriptures how they're going to see the strangeness of our salvation. It's going to be strange, so much more than anything they could have ever thought of. And one way that the Lord is going to do it is by changing the way that his creation, his elements, he's going to alter the way they work for us in these different moments, and we're definitely going to need it. We know that we're coming into a time of great persecution. We're coming into a time in which we always prophesy that, we're going to have to be as pilgrims, off the grid. Our enemy's going to come up against us. We know that the full storehouses shall suddenly appear empty. Martial law, concentration camps, all chaos and hell is about to break out really all over the earth, especially over here in America, which is Babylon the Great. It's going to be famines. It's going to be scarcity of foods. It's going to be all type of things that's going on. And the Lord is going to do things that he has done before, but on a all-time level at the end of the world. Because when you read the scriptures, the Lord many of times have made the way that fireworks, he altered it, so it could be of benefit to his people. He changed the way that water worked. He changed the way that animals worked. He changed the way that different elements, hell and fire, mingled together. As you read the account of the Exodus, when the Lord was plaguing our enemies, he's going to change the way the elements work to help us. Now, I want to get Job 5, and I'll start at 19. It says, he shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yet in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. And the 7th trouble is nuclear missiles coming down upon Babylon the Great, and the elect being beamed up, into the sky, into what the world calls UFOs. And I want to start there because if you could believe in that, then you should be able to believe in the other miracles that the Lord is going to do when he delivers us from 6 troubles, the things that's going to happen before the nuclear missiles come down. If you could believe that nuclear missiles are going to come to Babylon the Great, and the elect of Israel is going to be beamed up into the sky and their bodies changed in the twinkling of an eye, into what the world calls UFOs, which are the chariots of the Lord, then you could believe in the miracles, the strange things that the Lord is going to do even before then to get his elect to that point. Now, verse 20, it says, in famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. And you're going to have World War III, of course, but you're also going to have civil war, class wars over here in America. It's going to go down. It's prophesied. The Egyptians versus the Egyptians, as it tells us in the scriptures. Isaiah chapter 19, men invading one another's house for the lack of bread because there will be a famine. But the Lord said he's going to redeem his elect from those things. Verse 21, it says, thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue. Yeah, we will be persecuted. We're going to be hid from it. Neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. So even the way our minds are, our faith is going to be increased in that day. The Lord said, wait upon him, wait upon the Lord, and he shall strengthen thy heart. The Lord is going to have our spirits on a whole nother level. He's going to turn the notch up. Just like he turned the notch up or turned it on when we were in the world, and then we heard this truth and we believed. So how much more the Lord could do when shit really hit the fan? How much more the Lord could do? Now, verse 22, it says, or verse 23, it says, for thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee. See, this is the point. For thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee. The beasts of the field. It could be bears. It could be zoo animals set free, lions. It could be alligators. Brothers. You got us brothers down here in Florida. Wolves. Whatever out there. Birds, eagles. I mean, you have accounts where ravens were sent to feed prophets of the Lord. The Lord is going to have his animals. He's going to alter the way they move to help out his elect in these last days. They shall be at peace with thee. It says, even in the time when Daniel would not bow to the image, when Daniel continued to pray to the Lord. That's what it was, because it was Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They wouldn't bow to the image, and they were thrown into what a flaming furnace, and fire, which is supposed to devour you, which is supposed to devour some skin or a human being that's thrown into a flaming furnace. It didn't devour them. They felt a mist. The Lord changed the elements, But even as far as the beasts of the field, that's not so far-fetched at all. When you think of Daniel, when he continued to pray to the Lord, they threw him into a lion's den, and the lions, they didn't touch him. The lions didn't harm him. He was good. He was straight. And those same lions destroyed the enemies of Daniel. The stones of the field shall be in league with thee. Now let's go into the word for stones. The stones of the thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field. It's the Hebrew word aban, right? The Hebrew word aban goes into stone, large or small, common stone, stone as material of tablets, marble, hewn stones, precious stones, stones of fire, stones containing metal, ore, tool for work or weapon, a weight, plummet, also made of metal, stones of destruction, stone-like objects, for example, hailstones, stony heart, ice, and that's the, I'll focus on this material, elements. The Lord's going to use the elements, the different elements that he got, his creation. We're going to be in league with those. And that's not far-fetched. When the Lord had Israel march around Jericho, he gave them instructions. He told them to chant against Jericho. And what happened? Their wall fell. The stones of their wall fell. So these are the type of things that we're going to take part of and witness. These things are going to happen on our behalf. You're going to be in league with the stones. Spiritual power on the all-time level. If you walk on water, you're supposed to You're not supposed to walk on water. But Yahushua did himself. So those elements, for instance, the water, Yahushua walked on it. Yahushua tells us in St. John chapter 14, the things I do, you shall do greater. You know? So he walked on that material. You know? And we're going to be able to do things like that and even greater. Now, I want to go to this. Wisdom of Solomon 16 and 24. It says, for the creature that serveth thee, who art the maker, increaseth his strength against the unrighteous for their punishment, and abateth his strength for the benefit of such as put their trust in thee. Right, so the Lord's creation, his whole creation, the Lord will use that to harm our enemies, but certain things like fire or water or the sea or a wild beast, he will have them abate their strength, lessen their strength, to treat us with a kindness to help us because we trust in him. We trust that he is the king of the universe. We trust that everything is his creation. We trust that he is completely in control. We fear him. We don't fear man. So the Lord will use his elements that he created to help us in time of need. Verse 25, it says, therefore, even then was it altered into all fashions. Right? The Lord altered his elements, creation. The Lord mingled fire and hell against the Egyptians, man. The Lord split the sea for Israel. And we know what the scriptures say. No more shall it be said, the Lord liveth, that brought the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But it's going to be talked about how the Lord delivered the children of Israel out of the land of the north and from all the lands where he scattered us. And the land of the north is talking about America, North America. So what the Lord did in ancient Egypt, we're going to do greater. That means we're going to see some marvelous things in these times. It says, therefore, even then was it altered into all fashions and was obedient to thy grace, that nourisheth all things according to the desire of them that had need. The Lord's grace upon us is greater than any threat that Esau, Edom, so-called white man, our enemies, form against us. You know, the Lord's grace and what he said he gonna do for us, the standard he said that he's gonna lift, that's greater than the flood that Esau is gonna come up against us with. It's greater than the persecution. It's greater than the situations that we're gonna be in. You know, verse 26, it says that thy children, O Lord, whom thou lovest, might know that it is not the growing of fruits that nourisheth man, but that it is thy word which preserveth them that put their trust in thee. Right, it's his word, man. You know, that's why I be sticking to this word. You know, we continue to call upon Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and it's gonna preserve us. You know, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of that time, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. You know. Now let's read the same passage in the GNT. It says, you created the universe. It is at your command. All creation uses its power to punish unrighteous people, but it becomes mild and kind to those who put their trust in you. Creation assumed all kinds of forms to show how you provide generously for all who pray to you. This happens so that the people whom you love, O Lord, might learn that they are not fed by what they can grow. It is your word that maintains those who put their trust in you. So we don't have to worry about starving. When the Lord said that my servants shall eat, we don't have to worry about thirsting. When the scriptures say that my servants shall drink, we don't even have to worry about being extra sorrowful and down and out. And when the scriptures say my servants shall rejoice, sing for joy of heart, the scriptures say the Lord's servants going to be merry and have abundance, not just enough, you know, not a little bit, you know, not, you know, not dehydrated and hungry. No, merry and have abundance. That's what it says. I read it, man. Gotta read these precepts. This is the time that we coming into. This is the time that we're coming into. Be not weary. This is prophecy. Be not weary, because we concerned about how the righteous gonna be saved, which through faith and works, believing and calling upon the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run into it and are safe. And the Lord said what he gonna do in these last days. So it says, be not weary, for when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance. The heathen shall envy thee, but they shall be able to do nothing against thee, saith the Lord. My hand shall cover thee. The Lord saying, I got you. My hand shall cover thee, so that thy children shall not see hell. So you don't even have to think, oh, I got 1, 2, 3 kids. I got all these kids. I got this and that. How you gonna worry about that when the Lord even gonna send you even more people? We talk about Isaiah 4:1. We talk about that. That's a major prophecy concerning these last days. If the Lord's doing that, that means the Lord's providence is going to be ever present. His provision, his providing is going to be ever present in these last days. His protection at an all-time high at that. Not to say that we're not going to go through certain afflictions or certain trials and tests. We're going to be tried as gold in the fire. But it shall be known who are my chosen in that day, because the Lord is going to come through in a mighty, mighty, mighty way. Shoot. Micah 7:15, it says, according to the days of thy coming out of the land of Egypt, will I show unto him marvelous things. We about to see marvelous things, and it makes so much sense on so many levels. And one level is because these people so proud. These Edomites, these Babylonians, they don't believe in God. They atheists. They look at us like we crazy when we bring these things out. The Lord is going to come through. And he got his spirit upon his man to bring these things out, no matter how crazy it sounds or foolish it sounds to the world. Because it's prophecy and comforting to those of us that's in this truth. Not everybody got money or access to stock up on food for months and months. And even if you had ability to stock up on stuff to survive for 3 months, who says you're going to be at that place? Who says you ain't going to be on the run? You know? You're going to need the Lord in a marvelous way. Hey, he got it covered. He said he going to do it. You know? You just got to believe, man. The Lord going to change the elements. He going to alter the elements. He going to change the weather to help us. You know? Change the weather. The Lord brought darkness upon our enemies in the time of coming out of ancient Egypt, in the time of the Exodus. He brought darkness upon them while Israel was in light in the land of Goshen. He brought darkness upon them that they could feel. They couldn't even light a fire before their eyes. And they only saw apparitions that the Lord wanted them to see. You know? So the Lord changed the time of the day. Ain't that in the book of Joshua? I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Lord held back the sun. I believe it's in the book of Joshua, if I'm not mistaken, but we know it happened. The Lord held back the sun. So how much more the Lord gonna do in these times, man? Come on, man. Hey, Luke 1:37, it says, for with the Most High nothing shall be impossible, man. If you believe in the names of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, you gotta believe in this. You know? These are times that we in. And again, if you believe that the elect could be lifted off the ground and their bodies change into immortal bodies, they're gonna live forever, why can't you believe in the miracles that will happen before? So Lord willing, this is edifying. I give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakodash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and peace, love, and salutation and blessing unto the hopeful elect. Kwame Asherallah, and Shalom.